Hi everyone from the Club Snap forums and those on YouTube. Welcome to my instructional video on how to develop black and white film. This is part 1 of the series where I'll be introducing the equipment needed as well as the steps for preparing the film for the wet portion of developing, which will be shown in part 2, and that would be up in the near future. I had originally planned to have live commentary, but that didn't work out, so just ignore my voice being off sync when I talk on the video. So here on the table I've displayed all the equipment needed, and that would be the dark bag, the developing tank with your film reel, your chemicals, a thermometer as well as a measuring cup or cylinder, and a good pair of scissors. So we'll go more into detail with the developing tank, the dark bag, and the chemicals in the video. So here we have the dark bag, in which you can reel in your film in complete darkness, as it is extremely light sensitive, and hence the dark bag's name. I bought this at Ruby Photo at Peninsula Plaza for about $35 to $40. I believe it's the large size. So as you can see, there are 2 zippers for added light proofing, and inside the inner compartment is where you'll place the equipment needed to load the film into the developing tank. And at the opposite end there are 2 openings where you can place your arms in, as so that you can work with whatever is inside it in complete darkness. And there you have it, that's the dark bag. So what we have now is the developing tank with all the components and the plastic film reel. Basically, the tank is used to enable the film to be developed in complete darkness until the fixer comes in to make the image permanent and the film can finally be exposed to light. As for the reel, it is currently set to the smallest setting, which will accommodate 35mm film. It can also be adjusted to reel in medium format size film, such as so. But for the purposes of this video, we'll be using 35mm film for the example. So now we have this stem which attaches to the film reel like so, and this will be placed inside the tank. And next we have the light-proof cover shaped somewhat like a funnel, which goes on top and twisted in with a click sound. So right now the inside of the tank is light-proof and chemicals can be poured in with the lights on. The chemicals can be poured in through this opening shown here and poured out through the small gap circling the tank. We finally have the top cover, which retains the chemicals in the tank during the agitation process. Now on to the chemicals. The 2 bare essentials you'll need for developing is the developer, which I'll wave around for quite some time, and the fixer. For better results, or if you want more control over the process, you will need stuff like wetting agents and stop baths. However, if you're the budget conscious like me, a developer and fixer will get the job done. So I've already prepared my developer, ID11 from Ilford, into liquid form, stored in this nice Sprite bottle. And always remember to label your chemicals clearly so you won't mix them up. By the way, that's the chorus in the background. And the fixer that I use, Hypam from Ilford, you'll notice that photographic chemicals have markings like this, 1+4 on the labels. This would be the dilution formula, indicating that 1 part of the fixer would need to be diluted with 4 parts of water. For example, if you pour out 100 ml of fixer, you would need to dilute down with 400 ml of water to get the proper concentration of the fixer. So yes, take note of that. And behind here we have the temperature compensation chart, which would indicate the change of developing time needed when developing at differing temperatures. So since we're in sunny Singapore, the temperature usually drops down to only 26 or 27 degrees centigrade at night. So you would need to figure out the reduced temperature at reduced developing time, as most times indicated on the film boxes are at 20 degrees centigrade. So I got this chart off the Ilford website. It's very useful, so print out one of these and put it in a file or paste it on your wall for your reference. And always remember to keep your film boxes, especially if you like to shoot with many different kinds and brands of black and white film. The developing times for the various developers are listed, so keep them around handy for your reference. And so that's it for the chemicals. So now we'll go through the procedure of reeling in the film onto the reel. If you plan to shoot black and white often, I myself almost exclusively shoot black and white when I use film, and would want to develop the film yourself, it is always good practice to leave the leader out when you're done with the roll. This would save you the hassle of using a film picker or a can opener to get the leader out. And please don't mind the film that I'm using, which is a roll of Fuji Superior. I didn't have any spare black and white film around. So what you'll do with the leader is snip it off from the roll using the scissors, leaving you with a nice straight edge. Now, turning our attention to the film reel, you will notice two protrusions on the side of the walls, adjacent to the steel ball bearings. This is where you would start to feed the film into the reel, and the ball bearings would then guide the film in. So as you can see now, this is how it would be done. And this can be done with light, as the first portion of the film are unexposed frames. So now you have fed the film into the reel onto the ball bearings. To reel in, all you need to do is twist the reel back and forth. What happens is that the ball bearings engages the sprocket holes of the film and pushes it further into the reel. The rest of the film would then be reeled in the dark using the dark bag. Once you feel resistance pulling the film out from the canister, you've come to the end of the roll. Just snip it off and reel the rest in. Remember that this part is also done in the dark bag. And there you have it, the film completely reeled in. So once you reeled in your film, attach the center stem and lock the lightproof cover onto the tank. Remember that this will be done blind inside the dark bag, so do practice before trying out on a real roll of film. And now you're ready to pour in the chemicals. Here is a general view of how it would look like having all the items in the dark bag and actually using it. Remember to have a nice flat surface with enough space to work on, like this desk I have. And also make sure you're comfortable and can move freely. So this marks the end of part 1. Do hope you've learned from it and have a better understanding of the developing process. Although it may seem daunting at first, it becomes progressively easier as you practice. So I thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in part 2.